Hello, YouTube. I'm Vince White. I'm an employment attorney, and usually on this channel, we answer publicly posted questions from YouTube users about employment law. But we're working on a series right now helping people to approach employment attorneys and get the help they need, kind of how to package their case and make it more compelling for employment attorneys. So I'm highlighting a lot of the mistakes that I see people make when they approach employment attorneys in my own practice, and trying to help people to avoid those mistakes if they watch this playlist. We've got a number of other videos. Definitely check out the playlist. But what we're talking about today is making weird demands. So it's important to remember the employment attorney you're calling, presumably, is, working at a private company, a private law firm, right? And so they can't discriminate, but they're not required to take your case, and they're not required to help you. And I think a lot of people don't seem to understand that, or sometimes they seem to think that we're like government employees, which is, of course, not the case. If you're calling a private law firm, it's in the name. It's a private law firm. It's not the government, right? Trust me, Uncle Sam is not paying me for my service. Now, I'll give a couple examples. People call up and say, hey, I'm only awake at night, so I need the attorney to get on the phone with me at 10 p.m. It's probably not going to happen. Just being realistic, like unless you're talking to a law firm that's desperate for cases, there's probably not too many attorneys who are going to hop on the phone with you at 10 p.m. Another thing, I'll tell a story. No identifying characteristics. Many years ago, very nice human being, generally speaking, wanted help from me. Very upfront. This person was not going to pay me. Just had some questions. So came into my office to meet with me. I was like, hey, let me get you a coffee. Come on into my office, grab a seat. I'll sit at my desk and we can kind of, hash this out and see what I can tell you. And she says to me, oh, I'm not going to sit at your desk. Like, I don't want to sit across from you at your desk. That's a power play. You're trying to big time me. You probably have your seats set up so they're shorter for the clients, and your desk chair is higher. And I was like, well, for starters, it'd be weird if I was big timing you because you have nothing I want, right? Like, you're not hiring me. I'm only doing you this freebie because I wanted to help. And for seconds, let me roll this desk chair out. Oh, look at that! It's the same height as your chair. So how about you sit down if you want help, right? Like, enough with the nonsense. Don't waste my time, right? Like, you're getting free help. Don't be shitty, right? So all of these stories kind of they go into the idea of like, don't make these weird demands. Like, don't come in. A lot of people be like, hey, I want to talk to an employment attorney, but they're going to have to convince my spouse that I should have a case. Well, I didn't marry your spouse, and I'm not going to convince your spouse of anything. You talk to your spouse. Like, what are you talking about? I don't, you should, if you make decisions collectively in your marriage, engage in that process. I do not, like, I don't have a vote in your marriage, and I don't care to convince anyone to bring a case. Like, these are all things that are fairly routine, fairly common. A big thing in 2023 is people will say, hey, I don't trust phone lines. They're all hacked. So I'm going to need to meet you in person. In 2023, probably, like, if we've talked to somebody at length and we know they have a claim, we're happy to meet with them. But, like, no, you can't come in just to, like, present what may or may not be a claim. We don't have time for that. It's not going to happen. People get very angry about that. Like, what do you mean you won't meet with me? What do you mean what I mean? I got a lot of calls for people that I want to try and help today. And if I sit down with you, it's going to take more than half an hour. And I have no idea if you have a case. I don't know if I can help you. I don't know what you need from me, and you are refusing to tell me on the phone, so I'm not going to find out, right? That's another good one. These are all demands. And like, listen, I get it. Maybe you want to assert yourself. Maybe you've been through a lot and you want to lay down the law. And that's cool. I respect that. But you're not going to lay down the law on me. And probably you're not going to lay down the law on most employment attorneys because they're well aware that they are trying to help you. And so if you're a little abusive or a little demanding, they're just going to say, hold that thought. By the way, I'll get your coat. Yeah, bye. Right? Like, one more story. Person calls me up. Say, hey, I want to do a consultation. I want to see if you can help me with my employment case. Say, okay, yeah, go ahead. What are you dealing with? Well, it's pretty complex. Okay, yeah, I'm here for it. I'll make the time. I'll listen. I think I need you to read about 400 pages before we sit down and talk about it. Yeah, probably not. Like, give me the primer. I don't mind investing the time to read your pages to see if I can help. But if you can't be bothered to give me the basics, like if your case is, I believe there's aliens and my boss doesn't believe there are aliens and my boss wants to fire me because I really like to talk about aliens, which is not, those cases come in, right? If that's your case, no, I'm not going to read 400 pages. I'm not. I don't have the time to read your 400 pages about aliens, right? And I'm being facetious here, but like, give it context, right? If there's a one-page letter you want me to read that's really instructive as to what you experienced, by all means, of course, that's a reasonable ask. If it's 400 pages of 10 size font and you won't speak to me and tell me even the barest hint of what's going on until I read them, guess what? We're not going to have a very long conversation, right? So do understand that. Keep your demands reasonable. We want to help you. It is our job to help you. And also we make our living by helping you. But there's a lot of people who want help. And ones who make wild demands are less likely to get help. The world needs more employment attorneys, though, so hopefully we'll get more employment attorneys. Maybe everybody will get help. If this was helpful, like and subscribe.